Hey there, YouTube land. Big Dave here. And we're on the fishing and outdoor channel. And somebody had sent me a message asking me about Model 11 Zebco. And I decided what I was going to do is just to make a short video about the smaller Zebcos that I've used or own. And just so, we could have a quick discussion about that. And you know what? If you have your experience, whatever you experience, if something you like about these or don't, you can always put it below in the comments. And it gives me food for thought for another time. So this is the smallest one that I own. It's a Trigger Model 11, and it's a Platinum. Now, I know they don't make this anymore. It was a very durable reel. I think it was one of the best ones for this kind. But you would have to get it used. The only thing is about this one is the spinning, the casting wheel is very small. So once it gets some junk on it like this, sorry, the allergies is crazy with the ragweed and everything. All right, so once this kind of gets junked up a little bit, or you start to get this corrosion on the inside, which is what happens, it starts to stick a little bit. So even if you clean this and put a new spinner head on, I have another spinner head. It has two pickups on here. Pretty nice. And it's a good strong reel. I mean, the drag is nice on it. Nice and smooth. It's very good reel. But the problem with it is, once it starts to get some junk on it, it kind of hangs up when it's casting. And the line doesn't want to cast out. So you'll be casting and all of a sudden it's stuck. Like it only goes just so far and it sticks. Other times it's fine. So this is not my favorite, even though it's a very good reel. I've had it. I think the spinning disc on here is just a little bit too small to work efficiently with certain kind of situations, especially if you're going to be casting something like a lure over and over again. This is not the best choice. If you're going to be doing like a float or bobber or whatever, you're just going to cast out here and there, 4-pound line, or you want to send out a line for some trout with a little weight on it and stuff, and some dough bait, this is fine. But anything where you're going to be repeating casting or anything like that with a small lure, it's going to hang up, and you're going to be frustrated with it. But it's a good, I mean, this is supposed to be the best of these. With the Platinum, it has the extra bearings in it, and it's very smooth. I mean, if you want to retrieve and all that stuff, it's great. And they're still around. I see them on eBay and here and there. The other smaller one, which is my favorite without any question about it, is the 22. And these, they don't make anymore. You can hardly even find them used. But if you happen to see a gold model that has the 3 bearings in it, that is a fantastic reel. And the casting on them almost never hangs up. Now this has a little bit, compared to the other one, if you look at it, it has a bigger spinning head. And it handles the casting well. It can handle a 6-pound line fantastic. That other one you can put 4-pound line on and it'll work, smooth cast line, all that stuff, and it works good. But like I said, for repeated casting or anything, it's going to be a little bit annoying. You might not care for it. This is a standard model. It has the plastic in between, and the gold model is metal or whatever. But I've never had any problem with this one. This one's been around, and I have another body that I bought really cheap, but it has no spinner head. So I have a spare body, spare parts, spare inside frame, whatever. So if something happens, I could part out one of my other ones and come up with it. So I have 3 of these all together. 2 gold ones, one that's not even unwrapped yet, it's in a package. And this one I've used a bunch of times. But it has the bigger disc, and it works really well. And I like these bigger pins. I just like this reel. I'm sorry that they kind of stopped making it, because this is just a really, really good reel for especially small water and ponds. And if there's a lot of those weeds around, like the other day, I was using this, and I also had my spinning reel. And the thing is, you have these tall briars and stuff, and they have thorns on them and everything. And even if you pick your rod up and you're trying to manage with it, you know, the line is moving around and it's getting hung up on the briar or hung up on the end of those tall weeds. And that's just it, you know. But where I go, there's a lot of that. And that's one of the reasons why, for me, in those circumstances, the Zebco is king. Because it's covered and I don't have that thing. And the only thing is the line's coming out, goes through the rod. It's easy to cast. Even behind the weeds, I can just easily cast. You can't even do that with a bait caster. You just can't. You got to have more, you know, weight and all that stuff, and then it wants to hang up. And if it catches something, you have a bird's nest. It's, you know, that's a whole other story in itself. And I mean, I spent, I don't know, maybe too long with the bait casters. I have a whole box of them. You know, I have all kinds. With the magnetic drags and all this stuff. I have a whole bunch of them. And I used to use the big ones and the small ones, and you know, that's all I ever used actually for a while. But little by little, I kind of got away from them because they were just had so many little things. I would still use them like now. If I'm on the boat, I like using them. I still like using the big Shimanos on the boat and stuff like that. I think they're great for that. But for my other stuff, it's either these or I go to my spinning reels, you know. Okay, let's talk about another small one. And these are still around if you can find ones that work. These are old. The Model 66. You know what? I like these reels. I have about 8 of them. So I have parts, I have things. These are just so smooth. They cast so well. The drag is incredibly smooth. They're almost, I don't want to use the word like foolproof, but they are. They're just, this has 6-pound line on it, and it's just like, it's like butter. This is the old Model 66. And I mean, they're still around. You can get them. And I mean, when I got these, they were $12, $15, you know, used. And when I bought like 3 of them off of a thing on eBay. So I had parts and, you know, but I do like those Model 66. I have another video on the Model 66, so I'm not going to go all into that, but it's a very good reel. The drag on this, the 22, the drag on this is really nice. It's nice and smooth. And if your drag's not smooth, then you have to take it apart and put some, either the blue grease in there, or you can use a little bit of Vaseline. And I know people don't like the Vaseline, but it works. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it at all. It works. I've been using it for years and years and years on these closed reels. On my spinning reels, I use the blue grease. And for salt water, I use the salt water, the blue grease. You know, that's a different kind of thing. You just open it up, pack it with the blue grease, close it back up, and you're sealed. And every once in a while, you got to get in there and clean it out, you know. But that's not today's topic. Today, we're talking about these small reels. So, yeah, that's how I feel about it. Somebody asked me about the Model 11, and I says, okay, let me make a video on the smaller reels. And this is what I like, and these are the reasons why. So, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following. And I appreciate everybody that sends me messages or whatever. It's great. Okay, have a good day, and we'll talk soon.